Good morning. I'm Dr. Katherine Wolfe, and if you're over 60, I want you to hear me carefully. The way you start your morning isn't just a habit, it's a message to your body. A message that says, I'm preparing for vitality, or I'm slipping into exhaustion. At this stage in life, your energy is no longer something you can borrow from coffee or adrenaline. It has to be protected, nourished, and gently awakened, not shocked, suppressed, or ignored. And yet, millions of people wake up every day and commit the same silent mistakes. Not because they're lazy or careless, but because no one ever told them what really matters after 60. What once worked in your 30s may now be draining your strength. What you dismiss as normal tiredness could simply be the consequence of poor morning decisions. I've spent over 25 years studying the connection between aging, energy, and the nervous system. And what I've found is this: if you want stable energy throughout the day, clear thinking, better sleep at night, and less pain in your joints, it all starts in the first hour of your day. So, in this video, I'll walk you through 5 common morning mistakes that silently steal your vitality after 60. And more importantly, how to fix them with simple, science-backed shifts. Let's begin, and let's give your body the calm, powerful start it truly deserves. Mistake number 1: starting your morning with coffee on an empty stomach. It's one of the most common habits in the world, especially among older adults who wake up feeling groggy, stiff, or slow. That first cup of coffee becomes a ritual, a signal to the brain that the day is starting. The smell, the heat, the kick, it all feels like comfort. But what many people over 60 don't realize is that this familiar act may be draining their energy, not fueling it. Especially when it's the first thing to hit an empty stomach, before the body has had a chance to rehydrate, stabilize, or fully wake up. Caffeine, while useful in moderation, is a powerful stimulant. And when taken first thing in the morning, without food, without hydration, without any natural buffer, it forces your adrenal glands into action. This means a surge of cortisol, your body's stress hormone, floods the system. For younger people, this might result in sharper focus or a quick energy burst. But after 60, when hormonal systems are more sensitive and slower to recover, this cortisol spike often leads to anxiety, restlessness, heart palpitations, and most ironically, an energy crash just a few hours later. What begins as a jolt becomes a slump. Even more concerning is how this habit affects the digestive system. When you drink coffee on an empty stomach, it increases stomach acid, something that's already a challenge for many seniors dealing with GERD, reflux, or age-related thinning of the stomach lining. The result is often bloating, gas, acid indigestion, or even a burning sensation after eating. These may seem like random symptoms, but they often trace back to this very moment: the unassuming cup of coffee at 7 a.m. before a single bite of food. I've seen dozens of patients, bright, active people, come to me complaining of chronic fatigue or brain fog. They were eating well, exercising, even getting reasonable sleep. But every single one of them started their day with black coffee on an empty stomach. When we shifted their routine to begin with hydration and a small breakfast before their caffeine intake, the results were consistent: smoother energy, fewer mood swings, improved digestion, and better sleep quality at night. Small change, massive ripple effect. The better approach is simple and kind. When you wake, drink a warm glass of water with lemon, or sip on a gentle herbal infusion like ginger or fennel. This supports digestion, hydrates your cells, and gently nudges your body into wakefulness. Then, have a small breakfast. It doesn't need to be large: a boiled egg, a slice of avocado, a spoonful of oats with walnuts. Once you've given your body what it needs, then enjoy your coffee, mindfully, slowly, and without depending on it to rescue your morning. You see, after 60, your body stops responding to force and starts craving rhythm. It no longer wants to be shocked awake. It wants to be invited into the day. So ask yourself, are you starting your morning with fuel or with fire? Because that first hour sets the tone for everything that follows. And when you treat your body gently, it often responds with surprising strength. Mistake number 2, getting out of bed too fast. There's a quiet violence in how many people begin their day. The alarm goes off, and within seconds, they're on their feet. No pause, no transition, just a sudden jolt from stillness to motion. And while this may seem harmless, even efficient, it's one of the most overlooked mistakes that drains energy and stresses the aging body. After 60, your systems, cardiovascular, neurological, musculoskeletal, no longer adapt to abrupt change the way they once did. What used to feel like a brisk start can now feel like a shock to the system. When you stand up too quickly after sleeping, your blood pressure doesn't always rise fast enough to support the change in posture. This is called orthostatic hypotension, and it's incredibly common in older adults. You may feel dizzy, lightheaded, or even experience black spots in your vision. Some people brush this off, calling it just a morning wobble, but it's a warning sign that your circulation needs more time, and your nervous system needs a softer awakening. That moment of instability isn't minor. It's your body pleading for gentleness. Your joints and spine also need time to rehydrate and realign. After hours of stillness, the fluid between your vertebrae is compressed, your ligaments are stiff, and your muscles are colder and tighter. Pushing yourself upright too fast puts strain on your lower back, hips, and knees, and over time, these micro-traumas accumulate into chronic discomfort. Many of the back problems I see in older patients aren't caused by dramatic injuries, but by repetitive morning movements done carelessly. But perhaps the most overlooked cost of rushing out of bed is mental. When you launch into the day without pause, you miss the opportunity to orient your thoughts, your breath, your sense of control. You let the world set the tone instead of choosing it yourself. And after 60, when emotional stability is as valuable as physical health, this matters deeply. You're not just a body getting out of bed, you're a nervous system re-entering the world, and that deserves care. So how should you begin? When you wake, stay in bed for 1 to 2 minutes. Gently move your feet, roll your wrists, stretch your arms. Sit up slowly. Take 3 deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Place your feet on the ground, but don't stand just yet. Feel the earth. Let your blood catch up with your bones. When you do rise, do so with presence. Let your body catch up to your mind. The first motion of the day is symbolic. It tells your body whether it's being dragged into life or invited into it. After 60, energy isn't about speed, it's about pacing. It's about preserving clarity, circulation, and calm. And if you begin with care, the rest of your day will follow your lead. Start slowly, not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough now to know that strength begins with grace. Mistake number 3, eating the wrong kind of breakfast. There's a quiet trap many people fall into as they age, believing that eating anything in the morning is good enough. Toast, jam, cereal, sweet yogurt, a banana, a glass of juice, and then wondering why, by 10 a.m., they're already tired, foggy, or craving another snack. It's not that you skipped breakfast, it's that you chose the wrong one. And for people over 60, this mistake slowly chips away at daily energy, blood sugar balance, and long-term metabolic health. The most common offender? Simple carbohydrates with no protein or fat to slow them down. Think white bread, sugary spreads, low-fat yogurts with fruit syrup, or even granola bars marketed as healthy. These foods enter the bloodstream quickly, spike your glucose, and give you a short-lived burst of energy. But then your insulin surges to bring that sugar down. And when it drops, so do you. Your body panics. You feel hungry again, shaky, or sleepy. And you mistake that crash for aging, when in fact it's just poor fuel. After 60, your body doesn't regulate blood sugar as efficiently. Your cells become more resistant to insulin, and your muscle mass, which helps absorb glucose, has likely declined. This means that what you eat in the morning matters even more. A sugary breakfast isn't just unhelpful, it's inflammatory. It increases fatigue, messes with your mood, fogs up your brain, and feeds the low-grade inflammation linked to heart disease, arthritis, and cognitive decline. I've had patients who swore they ate light and healthy breakfasts, but they couldn't understand why they felt exhausted by lunchtime or had trouble focusing during simple tasks. When we swapped their cereal or toast with a breakfast containing quality protein, like eggs, Greek yogurt, chia pudding, or leftover chicken with vegetables, their energy stabilized. Their appetite evened out. They didn't crave sugar all day. Their mind was sharper. That's not coincidence. That's chemistry. And you don't need a massive breakfast. Even a few boiled eggs with avocado or a bowl of oats with nuts and cinnamon can change how you feel by mid-morning. The key is balance. Protein to support your muscles and brain, fat to fuel your hormones, fiber to support digestion, and complex carbohydrates that release slowly. That's what breakfast after 60 should do. Not jolt you awake and abandon you, but carry you through the day with strength and steadiness. Remember, your first meal is not just food, it's instruction. It tells your body what kind of day you plan to have. Will it be erratic and drained, or clear and grounded? Choose breakfast like someone who respects their future. Because energy after 60 isn't about eating less, it's about eating smarter. Mistake number 4, looking at your phone. First thing in the morning. It's become a reflex for millions. The moment your eyes open, your hand reaches for the phone. Emails, messages, news headlines, social media, all flooding into your consciousness before you've even taken your first full breath. But if you're over 60, this habit is far more damaging than you may think. What seems like harmless scrolling is, in fact, one of the most effective ways to exhaust your nervous system before your feet ever touch the floor. Your brain is incredibly vulnerable in the first moments after waking. It's still in a theta brainwave state, reflective, calm, suggestible. This is when your subconscious is most impressionable. When you flood it with conflict, noise, or information overload, you yank yourself out of that peaceful state and straight into a mild form of stress. And at this stage of life, when hormonal and emotional balance are already more fragile, that stress stays with you far longer than it did in your younger years. I've spoken with so many older adults who tell me they feel anxious or mentally drained by 9 a.m., and they think it's just part of aging. But when we review their morning habits, we find the real culprit: opening the phone before opening the heart. The digital world is loud, chaotic, urgent. It doesn't greet you gently. It demands, compares, alarms. You don't even realize how tense your jaw has become, how shallow your breathing is, or how quickly your inner calm has been replaced with outside noise. This habit also delays true presence. Instead of noticing your body, your breath, or the way the morning light hits the window, you're pulled into someone else's agenda, someone else's opinions, problems, or curated perfection. That tiny screen becomes a filter between you and your own experience. And over time, that disconnection affects more than just mood. It impacts memory, attention span, sleep quality, and even cardiovascular health through elevated cortisol and disrupted circadian rhythms. What's the solution? Begin your morning on airplane mode, literally and spiritually. Keep your phone away from your bed. Give yourself the first 20-30 minutes of the day without screens. Drink water, stretch, breathe, look out the window, write a few lines in a journal, speak kindly to yourself. Let your own rhythm arrive before inviting in the world's noise. And when you do check your phone, do it with intention, not as a default reaction. After 60, protecting your focus isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Your energy, clarity, and emotional resilience depend on how you enter your day. So the next time your hand reaches for your phone in the morning, ask yourself, is this what my brain needs right now? Or is there something softer, quieter, and more nourishing I could choose instead? Mistake number 5, skipping morning movement. There's a quiet danger in stillness. especially as we age. After 60, many people begin to slow down, not out of laziness, but out of habit, stiffness, or even fear. And yet, one of the most vital ingredients to long lasting energy, circulation, and clarity is precisely what most people skip in the morning: movement. Not exercise, not intensity, but gentle, intentional motion that reminds your body it's alive and needed. During the night, your blood flow slows, your joints stiffen, and your lymphatic system, which relies entirely on movement to function, goes quiet. When you wake and stay sedentary, even just sitting quietly with coffee or television, you're allowing stagnation to linger. And stagnation in the body creates fatigue in the mind. You may think you're easing into the day, but in truth, you're allowing the fog to thicken. Morning movement isn't about burning calories, it's about turning the engine on. I've seen patients who struggle with low energy, aching legs, swollen ankles, and poor digestion, all believing they're unrelated. But a few minutes of light stretching, leg raises, neck rolls, or walking in place completely transforms their day. Why? Because movement wakes up the body's hidden systems, the lymph, the fascia, the mitochondria, that don't respond to medication, but respond beautifully to gentle motion. The energy you're missing isn't gone. It's locked inside still muscles. And it's not just physical. Morning movement recalibrates your nervous system. It lowers stress hormones. It releases endorphins. It increases oxygen to the brain, improving memory and mood. You don't need an hour of yoga or a trip to the gym. You just need 5 to 10 minutes of simple, flowing movement, something that signals to your body, we're here, we're ready, and we're choosing life today. Think of it like brushing your soul. Just as you wouldn't go a day without brushing your teeth, you shouldn't go a morning without brushing your energy system with motion. It can be as simple as circling your shoulders, swinging your arms, stepping side to side, or gently twisting your spine. Let it be quiet. Let it be yours. But let it be present, because a still body becomes a slow body, and a slow body becomes an old body far sooner than it needs to. So ask yourself, how do I want to feel by noon? Sluggish or strong? Foggy or focused? The answer begins in your first 10 minutes. And remember, after 60, your body doesn't ask for perfection. It asks to be remembered. Morning movement is not exercise. It's a love letter to the vessel that's carried you this far. If you take one thing from this conversation, let it be this: the way you begin your day is not just routine. It's a message to your body about how much you value this stage of life. After 60, your energy is not something to chase. It's something to protect. And the first hour of your day, that quiet, sacred window between sleep and action, holds more power than any supplement or pill. When you begin with chaos, your body follows in kind. But when you begin with care, presence, rhythm, your body thanks you in every system: your joints, your heart, your mind, your spirit. You see, vitality doesn't disappear with age. It simply requires more intentional stewardship. No more jolting awake with caffeine and stress. No more rushing from bed without breath or thought. No more sugar breakfasts that rob your brain by noon. What your body craves now is gentleness with structure, motion with meaning, nourishment with wisdom. And the beauty of this truth? It's never too late. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Start with tomorrow morning. Trade the coffee on empty for warm water. Replace the screen with silence. Let your feet move before the world does. These small acts are not minor. They are messages. And the body, at any age, listens closely to how you speak to it. I've spent decades in practice, and the one thing I know for sure is this: energy after 60 isn't found. It's remembered, and it comes back the moment you stop fighting your body and start honoring it. I'm Dr. Katherine Wolfe, and if this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe, to reflect, and most of all, to begin again tomorrow morning with intention. Your best days are not behind you. They're waiting for a better beginning.